Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome back to the Happy Ever After podcast. I know you are listening because you want to double your business without doubling your hours so that you can actually enjoy the life that you've built. You worked hard for that after all, and so getting to enjoy it is really your dream come true. And that's probably why you started your business, because you wanted a life you could enjoy, you wanted to set your own hours, and you wanted to make more money than you thought you could, but doing a 9-to-5 behind a desk. So today we're going to talk about feeling your future, and then how this process continues to evolve, and how to take it deeper and deeper so that you can double your business without doubling your hours, and have the path show up quickly and easily to doing that. And we're going to talk about how that happens in different ways that it's happened for my clients. So I'm excited to talk to you today. I'm also excited because my friend Angie, maybe you've heard of her. She's the head of Not Your Average Runner. She's coming to visit. So she's getting ready to host an awesome retreat here in Denver in October. And so she's coming to do some recon and check some things out. And what I love about this experience that she gets to come here, she gets to enjoy the Enchanted Palace. I'm so glad that I have a place that I get to share with people. And the other thing I'm so glad about is that I've created a business that supports the lifestyle I want. So when Jill and I looked at dates, what I said to her, we're not confined to weekends. You can work here, I can work while you're here, and we can have fun around those times. So we don't have to just plan for the weekend to have 2 days of fun together. You could actually come in the middle of the week, which she's coming on a Wednesday. And so we get to hang out and we get to work, and we just get to enjoy this place and the lives that we have built, because she has definitely built a life around the lifestyle that she wants and that allows her to travel, as have I. And, this is all for me possible because I didn't actually know I was creating it at the time, but the double your business process, which has allowed me to step into the future that I wanted to be living and have my business, I want to say, rise to that level, come up with me and show up. And and I've had the path show up over and over again. Every time I double my business, it's a different path, but the more I step into my future self, the more that gets created around me. And when I say that my business has doubled more than once, it's doubled 3 times. It's on its way to the 4th time. And it's doubled all of these times, and it's getting quicker and quicker. Now it's turning into 3 months. At first it was a year, and then 6 months, and then 3 months. And my real estate business doubled it took about a year for me to double that when the path showed up. When I started to really step into this person of being, a $500,000 business owner, things started shifting, and the path to doubling my real estate income showed up. The path to doubling my business showed up. And every time but what I keep doing is I keep stepping into that $500,000 business owner. I'm not there yet. Like I said, this is something that, I set it out 5 years. It's not going to take me 5 years, especially at the rate that my business is now doubling. But it's something that I gave myself that long to step into. Really, I wanted it to be about 2 years, and I think I'll hit that. But the thing is that my business keeps doubling because I keep stepping into that big vision of myself, that big income intention that I set, we talked about a couple episodes ago. And so that's what's really important. And because I keep stepping into that is why I keep getting to have more of the lifestyle that I wanted, the life and the lifestyle that I wanted, where my friends can show up in the middle of the week and I can work the hours that I'm going to work, and we can hang out the rest of the time, and we could take a break and we can go to the pool in the middle of the day, or we can go out for lunch, right? And when it's easy and relaxed, and, maybe stay in at dinner or go do something else at night, whatever it is that we want to do. This, I get to live this life because again, this process of stepping into your future self is what I started doing. And I didn't intend it. I didn't know at the time it would be something that I would teach other people or that I would work with my clients on, but it is, and it's changed everything for me. So I just wanted to share that with you and give you a glimpse of where you're going. So as you're following all these steps, just remember where you're headed. You're headed to that life that you want to live, where you've doubled your business, likely more than doubled your business, without doubling your hours, so that you can actually enjoy the life that you're living. And I just want to make sure that you know that my book, Double Your Business, which goes through these steps in great detail as well, is available at Amazon.com. So you can go there and grab the book. Thank you for all of those who've already downloaded and helped it, hit number 1 the day of and help it stay up in the rankings now. And you can also grab a free 4-part video course that I've created for you that will walk you, through these steps and give you additional information as well. And that's at doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com. That's Double Your Business with Cassie, Cassie. So check that out. Today we're talking about feeling into your future and how this process evolves and how you can take it deeper. So feeling into your future. And I touched on this a little bit in the last episode, but you have to feel how it's going to feel now in order to double your business without doubling your hours. So really creating this space, the time to feel, and making that conscious choice. It's very much a conscious choice to feel how you want to feel then, or how you're going to feel. So when you think about your income intention and you think about what that life looks like and how you're going to feel living that life, and what you're going to feel most of the time, happy, joy, excitement, whatever it is, you have to step into that now. Because if you don't step into that in this creation process while you're getting to your income intention, it won't be there when you get there. It's part of the journey, and it's also part of the destination. So you have to feel now how you're going to feel then in order to double your business without doubling your hours. And it's key for the doubling your hours part, because you could probably double your business. You could hit your income intention. Like I said, your income intention is probably way higher than doubling your business, which is a fantastic thing. So when you're going for your income intention, if you don't want to double your hours and use every ounce of time that you have to invest in that, the thing that's going to keep that from happening and that from taking over is really making the time to feel now how you're going to feel then. If you're willing to give up every ounce of your life for your business, that's exactly what will start happening. So it's a conscious choice to really own the space for how you want to feel. And so, like I said, you want to make the space to feel that, and really open up to that. For me, part of that was taking Wednesdays off. I talked about that in the last episode, and I really feel like taking Wednesdays off opened my business up to double. It was getting clear on the intention, and it was stepping into my future self. All of that mattered, but one of the most key pieces was taking Wednesdays off and really stepping into that feeling of freedom. And in addition to taking Wednesdays off, I also started to take like 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a half an hour, to watch Friends in the afternoon. It's on, I don't know what channel it's on, but it's on in the afternoon. And I gave myself permission to take a break and just enjoy that. And that is sort of, I don't do that as much anymore, just because I got the feelings of freedom. Like I do other things, like I do the vacation in the morning before I start work. So that's activated that feeling. So that one's kind of fallen off. But the key is that I've maintained the feeling of freedom while the things that I do might have changed, right? So now I go hot tub and pool before I ever start work instead of stopping at 2 and making sure I just take a break. Those things have changed, but the feeling has stayed intact and actually gotten bigger and better or more intense. I feel like, taking the time in the morning to play in the pool, sit in the hot tub and relax is really, that maybe has more of a freedom impact than stopping at 2:00 and watching an episode of Friends or a half episode. And again, it doesn't mean I won't stop sometimes and just take 10, 15 minutes. But what I realized is the more that I did that, the more I allowed myself to do that, actually the less of it I needed. So when I allowed myself that freedom, often I just sit there for 5, 10 minutes, maybe watch between commercial breaks, and I was good. I had that feeling of freedom because I knew I could do it. And so I can't stress enough how feeling what you're going to feel in your future is so important. So think about how you're going to feel. If it's happy, I suggest for any feeling. My go-to for really activating feelings is to make a list of 10 things that you feel, that you do when you feel that emotion. So whether it's, take a day off, watch Friends in the middle afternoon, go to the park and read a book, go to the pool. These are all for me. It does make me feel happy when I get a massage. But that one's like maybe not an everyday opportunity, right? So you want to make a list of 10 things that you can do. And some of them are like getting a massage, where maybe it's not every day, but you also want to have like at least 5 of those that you could do anytime. And I like having a list of 10 because here's the thing, when we have a list, we can choose something, right? So you'll choose to go do one of those activities instead of be like, okay, how should I activate happy today? And I really like to use the term activate when we're talking about feelings. What can you do that's going to activate that feeling that you're going to have when you're living the lifestyle and have the income intention that you've set? When you're being that person, what are you going to feel? And how can you activate that now? So if it's excitement and there's not a lot of excitement in your life, you might want to think of how can you add excitement into your life? And there's so many different ways, and it's different for each person, right? And sometimes excitement just comes from breaking up the day, doing something random in the middle of the day, So really find a way to activate those feelings now so that you can feel them and step into them and be creating while you're feeling that way, creating this business and this income that you want and you're intending and the life that you want while having the feelings along the way so that they're there when you get there. So what's going to happen next? So we sort of went through the whole process of the double your business process. So then what happens? What happens is that, when you're stepping into your feelings, you're doing all the other steps. What happens is that it's basically like a circle. And every time you go through the circle, it gets deeper. So you start at the beginning, and you don't necessarily go back and redo your budget again. That's pretty much going to stay. I've had my income intention for about 18 months now. And I just keep stepping into it on a deeper level, right? I don't change that every time I double my business, but my business has doubled 3 times. But I haven't changed that income. I'm still stepping into that because that was a big difference from where I was to where I wanted to be. Like, again, that created that big space of that bubble for me to grow into. And so I'm still growing into it 18 months later, and I'll probably still be growing into it. It gets quicker and I grow faster and faster, but because you keep stepping into that future place. And so what happens once you get clear on that is you sort of repeat some of the steps in a good way. You keep scripting and you keep stepping into your future self. So you keep scripting. You keep mirroring your life to look like your future life. You keep stepping into your future self. You keep finding experiences to step into your future self. And step into your future life. And then you keep activating those feelings. And every time you sort of do that process, things are going to happen and things are going to show up in your life. So you're going to get more and more experiences that just happen to you out of your future life, which is going to give you a deeper understanding and connection to your future self. So the next time that you go to script, your scripting is deeper. When you go to step into your future self, you step in deeper because you know more. You've had more of those experiences and you're like, this is how it feels. Feels a little bit different than I thought. But those experiences are going to keep showing up, and you just keep doing it and keep growing and keep becoming that person with your income intention. So as you go through that process, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and you just keep doing the same things but different, right? And the more that you step into yourself, the more you script, the more you step into your future life, your future self, and the more you mirror that life, again, the more experiences just find you. I'm amazed all the time. It shouldn't amaze me because I know this is what happens, but I love it so much. When my clients share with me, amazing experiences that come literally out of the blue. One of my clients, the one I talk about, part of her future self was having this amazing party. And part of that, when we started getting into that party, was really about the social aspect of her that maybe had been missing for a while from her life. And as she dove into that, she would get more and more invitations. She still gets invitations all the time, like just random invitations on a random Tuesday to go to an event, right? Where she'll get calls from people she hasn't heard of in years that want to connect or invite her and her husband to a birthday party. All of these things start happening that are in connection with that future life that she's set up, that she's going to be living and she's stepping into. So she steps into it every day, and then more of it comes true. And the more, it might not sound significant, like getting invited to a party or connecting with a friend, but when your future self, this is where I talk about when, I've talked about throughout the podcast, so often we're taught to like stand in one place and look forward to the future and guess what's going to be there. But when you actually step into that place of having, being, and doing what you want, and that income intention and that lifestyle and that life that comes around that income intention, you get this information like, I'm really more social in that life. And it seems like that has nothing to do with the money, but it has everything to do with the money, because it has everything to do with who you're being when you have that income. And it's important to know that, because when that starts happening, you're being more of that person. And so that income is going to follow, and everything's just going to keep getting easier and easier, and the path's just going to appear, which has happened for her. She actually just started a new business within the last couple of weeks. But it was continually stepping into herself that made that path clear. And that's what's going to keep happening for you. And so then awesome things are going to come, not just those experiences like getting invited somewhere, but other things are going to happen as you continue to step into this place and continue to get deeper and deeper into that life that surrounds your income intention. So what things might happen after you go through all these steps? Like I said, they're going to look different for everybody, but experiences are going to come from your future life that may or may not have anything to do with business. And business stuff is going to start happening, right? Things that are going to have to do with doubling your business and growing your business. So some of these things, like, they just start happening. So we talked about Jill along the way, my client Jill. And for Jill, it was being inspired to send out an email, and just knowing when she tapped into her future self, she had the right words. Like, those words came from her future self. They came from that person she was being. Doubled her business just by sending out a couple emails. Right? And that was total inspiration. She didn't think about it. We didn't talk about that. That's not what we didn't say, I think you should send out, 2 more emails over the next week. It was totally inspired when she stepped into her future self. That's how her path to doubling her business appeared. My client Mia, finding the perfect place to set up her business when she hadn't been able to before. But when she was clear, the path just opened, and it was more perfect than anything she'd imagined before. For me, it was finding my mentor who was really able to teach me some things that I didn't know. I've been studying my business for a long time, and these are things that I'd never learned. Can be other things like getting an offer out of the blue to move where you want to move. If you're doing your business on the side and you're trying to double it, maybe in your future life, when you have doubled your business, you're living somewhere, and out of the blue, this opportunity comes to move somewhere. Going back to some of the things, because I like to bring examples back to Carrie, our real estate agent. Other things that might happen is like she might get people randomly to call her to list their house. She'll get bigger listings just because she'll find easier ways, to get her offers accepted. It's like almost like one of the things that could happen in Carrie's sense is she gets the Midas touch, where all of her offers just start getting accepted. Maybe they're very close to other offers, but they start getting accepted just because she's being who she is, which makes her life easier, right? If you only have to submit 1 or 2 offers for a client, it's a lot easier than having to fight over 10 houses. She'll attract higher caliber clients. She'll start to, repel. This is really important. Like in Carrie's case, she'll start to repel the high maintenance clients, those clients that take a lot of work and take up a lot of space and don't allow for sort of that easy business to come in. There's so many different ways that amazing things can happen, and your business can be doubled in a second, or not quite that quick, but so often, right? It's just somebody mentioning you. And it just gets deeper and deeper. And the more you step into it, the more about your future life comes to true. The more you script, the more stuff happens, the deeper you step into it. And the more these things that lead to the doubling of your business, which could just be one thing that could double your business literally in a day or a week or a month very quickly. Like my clients, I talked about my client Jennifer at the beginning, and she doubled her business in a month after we worked together. And she didn't really work any harder. She didn't really do anything else. She also has a team, so they stepped up their game. But it wasn't like she went and said, hey, like, we got to do more, we got to do all this. They just naturally did it, and she just naturally did it, and it just naturally happened because she was being the person who had doubled her business. She was being the person with that future income. My client Amanda, she didn't double her current business, but when we talked about stepping into that income intention and really getting clear and doing this whole process, her perfect business appeared that matched the life she wants to live and that matched everything that we had set out to do. So there's so many different ways that this stuff can show up, and so many ways that your business can double in an instant, and so many experiences that will be invited into your life and will happen that will get you on that path to where your income intention is. So that's kind of what I have for you today. That is what I have for you today, other than your mantra, which is my connection with my future self deepens every day. My connection with my future self deepens every day. I actually think this is my favorite, because if you can really hold this as a mantra and you can hold on to seeing your future self show up in your life every single day and look for her and look for clues that she's there and really deepen that connection every day, things start to happen really fast. So your mantra, my connection with my future self deepens every day. Say it, write it down on a sticky note, put it where you can see it, practice saying it, enjoy, and remember to take the Double Your Business course at doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com. Thanks. I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.